Wel, pnawn da, bawb. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the first session of Cyber Stars, the latest module of the Expanding Horizons project with us at e-sgol. These sessions are especially for you, Year 5 and 6 learners who have a talent for IT. It's great to have you all a part of these sessions, and I hope you're looking forward to learning more over the 4 sessions. I'm certainly looking forward to it. I'm Sue-Ann Richards and I work for e-sgol. I have the pleasure of introducing you to a very important person, Dan North from Technocamps and CyberFist. And Dan is a cyber expert. Dan will guide us through the 4 Cyber Stars sessions. Now then, I've heard that you Year 5 and 6 learners have a talent for IT and are a whiz on the computer. So Dan is going to share knowledge, important and useful tips on how to be safe online, cryptography and coding. The first 2 sessions will be full of information and questions as we go along, so remember to listen carefully, and it's all through Kahoot. Now then, before we get started, Dan, we'll go through a few things. The cameras, microphones and chat are off on your side for all of these sessions. This is an opportunity for you, responsible and wise Year 5 and 6 learners, to listen carefully. The session is being recorded and you will have the opportunity to do tasks and answer questions as we go along, and of course the big quiz at the end. We'll be doing the whole session through Kahoot. Therefore, if you can get your laptops or your tablets ready now, then we'll start. Now then, I'll get the Kahoot ready. Dan, how are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you, Sue-Ann, and hello, everyone. Yeah, as Sue-Ann said, my name is Dan. I work for a project called Technocamps. We are a Welsh government-funded project, so that everything we do is nice and free for all of you guys. We come to schools up and down Wales. I spend 90% of my time in some classroom somewhere in Wales, teaching digital skills to, yeah, learners like you.
Great. And I heard, Dan, that you used to be a teacher.
I was a teacher, yes. I was a science teacher in, well, in a few places actually, but in South Wales.
And is science similar to, is there a link there between science and coding?
Absolutely.
And cyber, yeah.
Yeah, it is very, very important, and they go hand in hand. And actually, when I first went to university, I didn't get to do any of this coding or anything in school, because we had a much more rubbish tech curriculum that we didn't get to do coding. So I went to university and then was suddenly very surprised and very unhappy when all I had to do for my physics degree was coding. It was constantly coding, and I hated it. And I thought coding was the worst thing in the world for a couple of years. But then, yeah, I got used to it. I got good at it, and now I love it, and I teach
it. Well done. So if we can all join the Kahoot either by the QR code or on the website and enter the game pin 9173649, and we're nearly at 100, so we'll get started then, Dan, I think, because we've got a lot to get through. If you haven't had time to join in, don't worry. The website Kahoot will be at the bottom of the screen, as well as the game pin for you to join as we go along, as Dan is going through the session. Right then, Dan, I'm going to click start and we'll get going if you're happy.
Fantastic.
Great.
So, guys, as I said, what we're going to be learning about today is cyber security. So this is one of our workshops at Technocamps where we teach you guys about cybersecurity. And cybersecurity, it encompasses a lot of things. We tend to think of it as being online, and how we can stay safe on the internet, but it's also how you can keep your devices safe at home. It's not just about being online. And one of the core ideas of cybersecurity is passwords, right? We all have passwords. We have them for everything. We have them for all our accounts. You have them to log into Hub or into Google or into your computer in the first place. You have passwords everywhere. You have them on your phone. But why? Why do we have these passwords? What's the point of a password? Why do we need it? Well, they're important because they secure our data. By securing our data, by keeping it under lock and key, they protect our identities. They protect all this information, all of our data, all of our personal information that makes us us, and they keep it nice and safe. And that means that they prevent unauthorized access to our accounts, right? We don't want someone that we don't know, or even someone that we do know, being able to log into our Snapchats and pretend to be us. That's a horrible idea. It's a horrible thought. So that's why the passwords are there, to protect us and protect access to our accounts. Now, you may, there is a very good quote from a website called Keeper, which is that compromised passwords caused 80% of all data breaches in 2019. That means 80%, 4 in 5 hacks that happened around the world, 4 in 5 times that someone successfully got into someone else's account, it was because they had a bad password. That's insane, because we are constantly told, we are constantly taught how important passwords are. And yet, 80% of people, it seems, can't make a good enough password to stop themselves being hacked. So having a strong and secure password reduces the risk of cyber criminals being able to access our data. It stops them from getting access to our data and our accounts. And you might think, okay, well, how much of a problem is it? Like, how many people are really going around hacking each other? And I've got a website to show you. This is a website called Cyber Threat Map. Okay, it is made by ThreatCloud, a cybersecurity company, and this is showing all of the attacks happening around the world in real time. You can see that these are 25 minutes past 2, the time right now. And you can see the seconds ticking and how many attacks are happening each second around the world. The United States is attacking Israel. Germany is attacking Brazil. United States attacking Guatemala. South Korea attacking Austria, was that? Russia is attacking itself. All it means when someone's attacking themselves is it's not someone trying to hack their own phone. It's someone inside of Russia is attacking someone inside of Russia. Okay? But these are happening constantly. You can see there's already been 8.1 million attacks today. Over 8 million. It's only 20 past 2. There's still another 10 hours left. This is going to reach 15 million by the end of the day. In fact, Sue-Ann was here during the last session in Welsh, and Sue-Ann can tell you that this was at 7.5 million. So in just half an hour, this has gone up by over 500,000 cyber attacks. This is a serious problem. Another thing that's worth thinking about here is that everything you see on this screen happening in live time, that's only what gets caught. If an attack is successful, if someone actually hacks into your account, you would never know that they got in. This is because your devices have stopped those attacks. And we can see the biggest companies it's happening to, okay? And also the top targeted industries, and education is always at the top here, because whether you're in a primary school, whether you're in a secondary school, whether you're in a college or a university, there are so many learners in any institution, okay? So many people in your classroom. If someone can hack your teacher's account, they can have all of your data. And that data will either help them hack you, or it's worth money to sell it. Okay, think of all those ads that you see online. Think of all the ads that your parents get. Okay, that is because people are stealing your data and selling it to companies like Amazon so that they know what to try and sell you. So cybersecurity is a very, very real problem. Okay. So, yeah, these are, oh, God, sorry.
Yeah, we've gone into a quiz straight away, Dan. Right, true or false? A strong and secure password reduces the risk of cyber criminals accessing our data. Think back to what Dan said at the start here. Strong and secure password reduces the risk of people accessing our data. Is that true or is that false? Oh, well done to 111 of you.
Fantastic.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Amazing. Well
Da
done, guys.
iawn.
Okay, so yeah, we've seen these cyber attacks happening now. We've seen how often they happen. And this takes us to one of the things that I hear constantly in my job. Okay, and that is when people say, I'm not in any danger. No one's gonna hack me. Who wants to get into my email account? I have nothing worth stealing. I don't have any money for anyone to steal. Why would someone hack me? Well, unfortunately, this might seem sensible, but it is completely wrong. It is entirely wrong, okay? Because when people hack online, they do not target individual people. It's not one person hacking one other person. It's actually aimed at millions of people at a time. Millions of accounts at once try to get hacked. Okay, so it's not like someone shooting you, it's more like a shotgun. It is a shotgun or a massive net being thrown through the internet. And if you're not protected, then when you get caught in that net, then your account is going to get hacked. Okay, if you haven't got a good password, someone will get into your account. And this takes me onto our first website. We can all type this website into our browsers, okay? Haveibeenpwned.com. That's haveibeenpwned.com. Okay, and on haveibeenpwned.com, what we will see is we can type in our email address. So if I share my screen with you now, that's haveibeenpwned.com. And here it is. It's the website. And I've just typed in my hub email, okay? And if I check, has my hub email been pwned? By the way, what pwned means here is it's been hacked. Has it been pwned? No, no one has. My hub account has never been in any data breach. Okay, it's never been caught in anything, and that's good. That's what we'd expect. You wouldn't want Welsh government accounts to be accessed by criminals. Okay, I'm glad that the Welsh government can keep my data secure. That's a good thing. But if you have any personal email accounts and you check it with them, then that might not be true. So, one thing with this, you should never type anyone else's email address into these sites, okay? Because we're talking about data security and privacy and all that. You are breaching that person's trust. You're breaching their privacy if you start just typing random email addresses in here. So it's important that we only ever try it on our own emails. But I did get permission off an old friend of mine to use her old email address that she doesn't use anymore for this. Okay, so Shawned at Gmail. She doesn't use this address anymore, but we can check if she was ever pwned. And if we check, oh no, she was caught in 15 data breaches. So her details were leaked 15 times. Okay, in game sites, in social media sites, business solutions, My Heritage, so trying to figure out her family tree, a bunch of different sites. Her data was leaked, not because of her password not being safe, but because someone hacked the website and her data was leaked as part of that. Now, we don't know if these people got into her account because it all depends on how safe her password is. But we can see that on Nexus, okay, her email address, passwords, and usernames were all leaked when they were hacked. Down here on Modern Business Solutions, her date of birth, email address, gender, IP address, job title, name, phone number, and her physical address were all leaked. All that personal data stolen and put on the internet by the people who didn't hack Shawned, they attacked this website. And Shawned's data was leaked in the process. Okay, so you can't avoid being leaked by things like this because you put your trust into these companies who can get hacked. But by having a strong password, you can stop any more data of yours being leaked, okay? So, as I said, don't do this with anyone else's email address. If you have one, then feel free to check that. But you could go home and you could ask your parents if they want to check their emails on Have I Been Pwned and see if they've ever been caught in hacks. Okay, so that takes us on to what data can be leaked, what can be stolen. And we've seen email addresses, passwords, IP addresses, and there we go. This list is endless, right? Phone numbers, names, date of birth, your employer, your job title, your marital status, what device you have. Are you using an iPhone? Are you using an Android? Are you on a Chromebook? They want to know everything. What apps do you have on that device? Have you got Facebook? Have you got Snapchat? Have you got Roblox installed? What have you downloaded? What websites do you visit? How often do you go to those websites? What type of things do you do on those websites? How long do you spend on them? What social media pages do you have? What private messages have you sent to anyone around the world? What geographic location are you at? Where were you when you sent this message at this time? Where were you when you took this picture? Okay, what security questions do you have on your passwords to avoid people getting into your accounts? They can get those security questions and the answers. They can get your account balances from your bank account. They can get anything at all. There is nothing that you can put online that is secure. Nothing at all. Anything can be hacked. And that's the most important thing to realize. Okay, there is nothing that we can guarantee is secure. All we can do is protect what we put online. Okay, even stuff that you keep on your computer. If you have a PlayStation, if that's connected to the internet, the PlayStation can be hacked. If you have a computer, all the music you have, all the films you have, all the pictures that you've taken, even though they're just on the hard drive of the computer, you haven't put them on Facebook or anything, they can be hacked. People can get into your devices. They can get into your accounts. So the only thing that you have protecting you is your password. Your password is what keeps you safe. And so it's pretty important that it's safe. Okay, so there are ways we can avoid our passwords being leaked, okay? You can avoid people stealing your password, okay, by writing them down in a book. If you write your passwords down in a book, anyone can steal that book. If you write them down on a post-it note, anyone can steal that post-it note. You're all sat in classrooms right now. How many of your teachers have passwords written, I don't know, under their keyboard, behind their monitor, stuck on the wall of next to their desk? I guarantee it's a few of you. Those passwords are not secure and could be stolen by anyone visiting your classroom. Okay, you can also stop people manually guessing your passwords by not using things like your name or the name of your animal or your favorite place to go on holiday or your nan's date of birth. Okay, don't use things like that. We also have social engineering, which is a harder one and probably worth talking about in its own video. But social engineering is when people either email you or phone you up pretending to be some company. So you get a phone call from someone pretending to be from Google, and they're like, "Oh, we just need to ask you a few personal questions about your security. Can we just confirm what the name of your dog is?" And I've got a lovely little Pouchon named Maple, so I'd be like, "Oh, Maple. My dog's Maple." Well, if I've used Maple as a security question, that person on the end of the phone now has access to my account. No one will ever phone you or email you asking for you to give them personal information about one of your accounts. If you ever get a phone call like that, don't tell them, hang up straight away, because those people are hackers. Okay. And the other one that's obvious to avoid is shoulder surfing. If someone's standing behind you when you're typing in a password, tell them to go away. That's very rude. Nobody should be watching you type your password in. Okay, so we can avoid all of that. There are things that are out of our control, okay? Things like interception. If someone has hacked our network and they have access to what we're doing on our computer, we can't avoid that. If someone's logging the keys that we type on a keyboard because they've put software on our device, we can't avoid that. If someone is searching through the IT department of your school, searching through all the different documents to try and find your password, you can't avoid that. Or if the worst one of all, someone brute forces your password, which means they try every single possible combination of letters and numbers that your password could be, which is a lot. It's a lot of different things to try. But if you haven't got a good enough password, then it's not going to take long to brute force their way into your account. It could only take a few minutes if you've got a very short password, because computers can try a lot of things at once. Okay, so these are fairly unavoidable. They're stuff out of our hands.
We go into another question, Dan. Anything you put online, publicly or privately, can be stolen. Is that true or is that false? Think back to what Dan's been talking about in the session. Anything you put online can be stolen. What do you think? True or false? Let's see how many got it right. Oh, 113.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Well done. Right then.
Okay, so finally, after talking about all these attacks and that passwords are the only thing that keep us safe, let's talk about how we can make a good password. So, unfortunately, the National Cybersecurity Centre of the UK have done studies in people's passwords in the UK. 15% of people use their pet's name as a password. I literally just said I would never use Maple as a password. 14% of people use their family members' names. 13% use a significant date, like their nan's birthday. Or 6% use their favourite sports team. Now, okay, your favourite sports team may be Rangers in Scotland, okay? And maybe that's a little bit more secure, but there's still a limited number of sports teams for people to try in passwords. Okay, but if you're from Swansea and your password is Swansea, is that difficult to guess? I bet loads of people in Swansea have Swansea as a password. Okay, then you get to the really stupid ones. 23 million people in the UK use 123456 as a password. I could guess that. Okay, 3.5 million people use the word password as their password. That's not secure at all. That's just stupid. So how do we make sure these passwords are secure? How do we come up with a good password? Now, we've all heard of the things that websites ask you to do, right? You need upper and lowercase letters, both capitals and small letters. You need numbers in your password. You need symbols. You should avoid any personal details like your pet's name, your name, your birthday. You should avoid using any common words like England. I don't know. or Wales. And you should avoid just replacing letters with numbers. Okay. It's a good thing to have some numbers in your password, but if you only have the number 4 every time you have a letter A and you have a 0 every time you have a letter O, that's not that safe because anyone can guess that you would do that. Okay. Put a 4 instead of an S. That's more secure because nobody's going to guess that your S is actually a 4 there. Okay. So they're the good tricks. Now, we can all go to this website, tc1.me/node. Okay, tc1.me/node. And on this website, it lets you test how secure a password is. Now, it is up to you whether you type in your real password. I'm not going to tell you to do it, but I won't tell you not to do it either. The website will not save your real password, so you don't have anything to worry about from the website stealing that from you, okay? But obviously, if you're in a class with a lot of people, maybe you don't want to be typing in your password because you're worried someone can see it, and that's completely fine, okay? It's up to you how you use this website. But if I share my screen, there we go. And I'm still on Und. This is the one I want. So in here, I can type a password. When you type your password, you can also make it invisible or you can make it show, okay? So you've got this button here if you want to try your real password and you don't want people to see it. Now, I'm going to try 2 different passwords. The first one is Technocamps, written with a mix of uppercase and lowercase letters and numbers and symbols. And it tells me that that is a strong password. That's good to know. It is a strong password, but by a computer trying to brute force that password, remember, trying every possible combination, it would take 27 days for a computer to break that password, which is pretty safe. Okay, I'm not worried about your average person spending 27 days waiting to break into my account. That's pretty strong. But that means a computer can break into my accounts in only 27 days. If someone really wanted to, they could do it. Now I'm going to try a different password. It is all lowercase letters. There are no uppercase letters, numbers, or symbols in this password. It is just the words salted salmon sausages swimming securely. Quite a silly password. And we can see that it's also strong. But now it takes centuries to break into that account. To brute force that password would take centuries. No numbers, no symbols, no uppercase letters. Now, that's not to say that uppercase letters, numbers, and symbols are pointless. They definitely make your password more secure. It's still worth having them, and a lot of websites make sure you have them. But is this password easier to remember than that really complicated one I just showed? I'd say so. It rolls nicely off the tongue. Salted salmon sausages swimming securely. It's nice and easy to remember. It's 4 fun words. I wouldn't say they're common words. Okay, they're quite different words. And it's a much more secure password because it's long. That's the best way to make a strong password, is to make it long, even if that means getting rid of all your numbers and symbols. Now, I'll tell you how I make a password. Whenever I make a password, I sit in the room and I look around for the 3 weirdest things that I see. Cactus. Orange mug. Bowl of paper clips. Now, that sticks with me in my head. I can remember a password like that. Maybe that's not true for everyone. You don't have to use my technique, but I can remember things like that because it's the first 3 weird things that I saw. Cactus, orange mug, bowl of paper clips. That's a really long password. It's easy to remember. If I really wanted, I could chuck an exclamation mark on the end or a number just to tick off those things I needed to do. But yeah, make long passwords, okay? So length is the most important thing. Many websites do make sure that we have numbers, lowercase, caps, symbols. But as I said, just chuck them on the end. Chuck them on the end. And if you have one on your phone, okay, if you've got an iPhone or anything, or an Android, you can use the password manager. If you need a complicated password for something, you can just chuck it in your password manager and have one long secure password to the password manager. That's easy to remember. And that's the key for you guys to take away today, okay?
Great, thank you, Dan. Right, the quiz to finish off. The first question, the best way to store passwords is in my notebook. True or false? What do we say about this? Is it true or is it false? The best way to store passwords is in my notebook. What do we think? Oh, false. Yes. It's not the best place to store your passwords. Right. Now then, here is the quiz. Sorry, right, this is the one that counts. Which password is most secure out of these ones that Dan went through just now? Techno camps with a few numbers changed, or salted salmon sausages swimming securely? A very long password. Which one is most secure? Now then, let's see. Well done, 94 of you got that right. Let's see now then. These count towards a final score. So Classy Leopard has come out on top here. Let's carry on. There are 5 questions altogether. This one, there are more than one answers. Why are passwords important? They secure our data. They prevent unauthorized access to our accounts. They protect our identities. Dan talked about this right at the start of the session. And there are more than one correct answer. So how have we got along? Oh, well done. They were all correct. 3 of them correct. Well done. Right. Who's on top now then? Smart Elk. Well done. A change in the top 3 there. Right. Next question. What should we not include in a secure password? What should we not include? A mix of upper and lowercase letters, numbers, symbols, our name. What should we not include? Do you think this is an obvious one, Dan?
Oh,
let's see.
yes.
Oh,
Well
most
done,
people,
everyone.
well done. Our name. There were lots of things which you shouldn't include, is there, Dan? But the most important thing is that it needs to be long, isn't it?
Yes, you can definitely include numbers. It certainly helps.
Yeah.
But just a long one is more important.
Okay, great. Diligent lizard on top. Right then. Who are cyber attacks aimed at? One specific individual? Teachers? Millions of people at once? Or famous people? One answer here. And the picture may give you a little clue. Who are cyber attacks aimed at? Let's see then. The correct answer was millions of people at once. Well done. Most of you got that. Not teachers. And on the scoreboard, right, Glad Wombat is on top. Right, I think this is the last question. Let's go for it, everyone. Multi-select, so more than one answer here. What data can be leaked in a cyber attack? Favorite food, date of birth, phone number, or home address? There are more than one answers to this one. The picture again might be one clue. What data can be leaked? Right, let's have a look. Oh, well done. There were 3 correct answers there. Date of birth, phone number, and home address. Now then, let's see the podium. In 3rd place, Noble Boa, well done. In 2nd, Diligent Lizard. And out on top is Glad Wombat. Well done everyone for taking part in the quiz and the session today. We hope you all enjoyed. Thank you very much, Dan, for taking us through our first cyber session, and we hope to see everyone next week. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks all. Bye.